In most sports, a championship trophy is a symbol, a polished object lifted for cameras, displayed at a parade, and then returned to a league office. The Stanley Cup is different. It is treated almost like a living artifact. It has its own handlers, its own travel schedule, its own scars, and a memory carved directly into its silver bands. It is not remade every year for the winner. Instead, hockey champions join a physical chain of names stretching back more than a century. That is why the Stanley Cup is often called the Cup, Lord Stanley's Cup, or hockey's Holy Grail. It is more than the NHL's championship trophy. It is one of the oldest, strangest, and most tradition-heavy prizes in North American professional sports. The story begins in 1892, before the NHL existed, when the trophy was commissioned as the Dominion Hockey Challenge Cup. Its name comes from Lord Stanley of Preston, the Governor-General of Canada, who donated it as an award for Canada's top-ranking amateur ice hockey club. Stanley was not just a distant patron putting his name on a prize. His family actively supported the sport, with his sons and daughters playing and promoting hockey at a time when the game was still organizing itself. The original idea was simple but powerful: create a challenge trophy that would identify the best hockey team in Canada. The first winner, in 1893, was the Montreal Hockey Club, beginning a tradition that would eventually outgrow its amateur roots. In its earliest decades, the Stanley Cup did not work like a modern playoff trophy. From 1893 to 1914, champions were determined through a mix of league play and challenge games. A team could hold the cup, and worthy challengers could attempt to take it. This made the trophy feel almost like a title belt, something defended, not simply awarded at the end of a fixed tournament. That challenge format reflected hockey's fragmented early structure, with clubs and leagues developing across Canada and beyond. As the sport grew more competitive, the cup also evolved. It began as an amateur prize, but professional teams became eligible to challenge for it in 1906, signaling that hockey's highest honor was moving toward the professional era. A major turning point came in 1915. The National Hockey Association, known as the NHA, and the Pacific Coast Hockey Association, or PCHA, were two of the leading professional hockey organizations. They agreed that their champions would face each other annually for the Stanley Cup. This agreement helped transform the cup from a loose challenge trophy into a more structured professional championship prize. But the hockey landscape kept changing. The PCHA's successor, the Western Hockey League, dissolved after the 1925-26 season. After that, no other league was considered strong enough to challenge for the cup. The NHL became the only practical route to winning it, making the trophy the de facto NHL championship. In 1947, that status became official. One of the strangest facts about the Stanley Cup is that there is not just one Stanley Cup. There are three. The first is the original bowl, the Dominion Hockey Challenge Cup, the historic object donated in the 1890s. The second is the authenticated Presentation Cup, the one awarded to champions and seen in celebrations. The third is the Permanent Cup, a spelling-corrected version displayed at the Hockey Hall of Fame whenever the Presentation Cup is away. This matters because the cup is not simply a trophy-shaped logo. It is a set of physical artifacts with different roles, one preserved as the origin, one used in modern championship rituals, and one available for public display when the traveling cup is unavailable. The cup's ownership situation is also unusual. The NHL controls the trophy's use and the trademarks connected to its name and image, but the league does not actually own the Stanley Cup outright. It uses the trophy through an agreement with two Canadian trustees. That distinction has created legal and symbolic tension over the years, especially around whether the NHL should control trademarks connected to a trophy it does not technically own. This complicated arrangement fits the cup's history. It was not born inside the NHL as a corporate championship asset. It predates the league, predates many modern sports structures, and carries a public trust quality that makes it feel bigger than any single organization. Physically, the Stanley Cup has changed dramatically. The original bowl was made of silver, standing only 18.5 centimeters high and measuring 29 centimeters across. The current cup is much larger, topped with a copy of that original bowl and made from a silver and nickel alloy. It stands 89.5 centimeters tall and weighs 15.6 kilograms. That size is part of its visual power. When players lift it, it looks heavy, historic, and unmistakable. Unlike trophies in many other major North American professional leagues, a new Stanley Cup is not made every season. The same trophy passes from champion to champion, carrying the marks and names of hockey history with it. The most famous feature of the Stanley Cup is the engraving. Since 1924, selected names from the winning team have been carved into its bands, including players, coaches, management, and club staff. This makes the cup personal in a way few trophies are. A champion does not merely win it, in many cases they become part of it. But space is limited, so not everyone connected to a championship team can be included. That creates difficult decisions about who gets immortalized. The engraving also means the trophy is a record book in metal form. Instead of reading a list on a wall, fans can look at the cup itself and see generations of champions wrapped around it. The cup's shape was not always as elegant as it is today. Between 1924 and 1940, a new band was added almost every year the trophy was awarded. As the trophy grew taller and more awkward, it earned the nickname the Stovepipe Cup. In 1947, its size was reduced, but the design still needed a better long-term solution. That came in 1958, when the modern one-piece cup was designed with a 5-band barrel. Each band could hold 13 winning teams. Once the bottom band is filled, the top band is removed and retired to the Hockey Hall of Fame, the remaining bands move up, and a blank band is added at the bottom. This rotating band system gives the Stanley Cup a strange relationship with time. A team engraved on a new bottom band can, in theory, remain visible on the trophy for about 65 years. After that, its band is retired to the vault at the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto. So the cup is both permanent and changing. It preserves history, but not all of that history stays visible forever on the traveling trophy. This system solves a practical problem. There is only so much room on a physical object. But it also adds mythology. The Stanley Cup is not frozen in one perfect form. It is maintained, updated, and curated like a living monument. The Stanley Cup is surrounded by rituals that help explain its fame beyond hockey. The oldest and most iconic tradition is the winning team drinking champagne from it. Over time, the cup has also become famous for traveling with players during their personal days with the trophy. Modern champions get the cup during the summer and for a limited number of days during the season, allowing players and staff to bring it to hometowns, family gatherings, local rinks, and public celebrations. This tradition makes the cup feel accessible and human. It is not locked away immediately after the final game. It briefly becomes part of the champion's life, connecting elite victory to personal memory. The winners list adds another layer to the cup's legend. Since the 1914-15 season, it has been won more than 100 times by current NHL teams and several teams that no longer exist. It was not awarded in 1919 because of the Spanish flu epidemic, and it was not awarded in 2005 because of the NHL lockout. The Montreal Canadiens hold the record with 24 championships and remain the most recent Canadian-based team to win, doing so in 1993. The Detroit Red Wings lead United States-based NHL teams with 11 wins. According to the source record, the current holders are the Carolina Hurricanes after their 2026 victory. Across all those names, delays, redesigns, and traditions, the Stanley Cup remains hockey's ultimate prize. If you found this helpful, please like this video and subscribe for more explainers.